And now for the last 4 companies to present today. The competition is getting tougher. Don't forget to vote. The winner company will announce after the next panel. I would like to invite Igal Magen from BioFishency.
Don't forget the dial 9, right? My name is Igal Magen. I'm the CTO of BioFishency. My partner, the CEO, Kobi Levanon, and I founded BioFishency in order to develop a water treatment system to address aquaculture's most important challenge, which is the water availability. Well, a lot of you talk about agriculture or horticulture. What is aquaculture? Well, basically, if it's grown in water for profit, it means aquaculture. And as you can see from the graph, the fish stock at sea is decreasing, and there is a huge increasing in the request for protein, and the only industry that will supply this industry will be aquaculture. You know, when aquaculture just started, it was just a basic fish pond, it was a hole in the ground, and you grow some fish. The production at the time was extremely low, since there was a bottleneck of oxygen. Sometimes during the 80s, this paddle was introduced to increase the oxygen. By introducing this simple technology into the fish pond, the farmer can actually now grow double the production in the same infrastructure. But now, the same farmer is actually facing a water shortage and a new bottleneck, which is ammonia that fish excrete. So, actually, for over 18 years, Kobi and I have been developing large aquaculture projects all over the world. And everywhere we saw the same problems of water availability, water quality, and lower fish production. And we saw that we want to find that to prevent farms like this one of being closed due to water shortage. Basically, there are 3 major methods of growing fish. And the most important thing is supplying oxygen and removing the ammonia. And in each of the systems have its own problem, such as large area use, water consumption, or complexity and cost. And what we thought is needed to find a practical, cost-effective methods that will increase the oxygen, remove the ammonia, so we can produce more fish in the same infrastructure. So actually we came up with the BioFishency filtering system. It's a simple plug-and-play that can be installed in all the growing methods that I just reviewed. And actually we meet all the challenges that I just talked about. The water actually flows from the pond into the system and actually recycled back, and actually we're taking care of the ammonia and the oxygen. So when we talk about extensive system, we can actually now grow more fish, maybe double, even triple the production in the same infrastructure. If it goes to intensive system, it can actually reduce dramatically the use of water. And our system can actually be manufactured as a recycled aquaculture system. So it is a low-cost system, highly efficiently, easy to use, it's affordable. It will enable any farmer around the world to grow more fish using less water in the same infrastructure. Well, does it work? You can see here from the proof of concept in green the results of some trial that we did in our research station. Aquaculture is the fastest growing animal food production sector. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, the production must increase from 60 million tons to 80 million tons by the year of 2020 to meet this growing demand. Our first market will be China, Brazil, and Nigeria markets, since of their high growth rate and the high production in those countries. We are looking to raise $1.25 million to complete the development milestones, to continue our contact with the market, and to begin next year sales. And by the way, we accept cash or charge, whatever works for us. This is about how aquaculture will look like in the future. We know that since we've been living this industry for about 18 years, and a lot of companies from the industry is approaching us. Recently, we've been to a conference in Denmark, and one of the largest global aquaculture companies actually approached us in order to use our system in their project in Africa. So this will be a huge potential for BioFishency to develop. Thank you very much. If you have any questions.
Gesundheit, and I'm the CEO of BotanoCap. BotanoCap was founded due to the awareness of the problems arising from the pesticides currently used. They are toxic, they pollute, there are residuals all over, either in the soil or either in the crops. And due to the regulation that a couple of years ago we had more than 1,000 chemical molecules in the market, today we have less than 300 molecules remained. And the world is adopting the OECD regulation. One of the alternatives is the plant extract. Plant extract and essential oils show for many years, for thousands of years, high efficacy as pesticides, bactericides, fungicides. They are non-toxic, and there are no residuals found in crops. However, they could be very volatile, short efficacy, short effective time, and some of the times even phytotoxicity, and they are very sensitive to light and oxygen. So this is the solution that BotanoCap provides. You can see this is the plant extract. It is coated. We provide the technology. This is our own IP. We know when to tell the envelope to start the degradation. It is timely controlled, and then eventually we have a totally degradable pesticide. It's like a James Bond. Comes, acts, and no residuals found in the finished product. This microencapsulation technology is eventually also made out of natural ingredients. So not just the active ingredient itself is natural, but also the envelope itself. So we have a grain delivery system for a grain active ingredient. But this is a technology, because if we encapsulate essential oils used for agricultural purposes, we can also use essential oils or plant extract used in cosmetics, in food industry, to replace preservatives, to mask and to mask the odor and the taste of bitter and stinky natural ingredients. We can also incorporate those microcapsules into the process of making the polyethylene bags and have a slow release bag. But today I'm going to focus on the agricultural uses of BotanoCap. We divide our pipeline into two major branches. One is the JV we have, and the other one are the one that products self-developed up to the market. The one that we developed by ourselves, we divide them to fungicide, nematicide, insecticide, and post-harvest solutions. And we have JV with companies for seed coatings, bacteria, and spores coating, which are microorganisms. Just in a nutshell, the difference between microorganisms and the plant extract is that we have to develop what we call a breathing envelope to allow the microorganism stay alive and to recover once the envelope degrades. This is a unique process that we have developed. We can encapsulate bacteria and spores and, of course, seeds. Let's talk about the product that is already on the market. You can see the difference between untreated carrots stored in warehouses and the one that was stored with ours. It's a post-harvest solution for product that gets into the warehouse. And this is a natural one with no remains. This is you can't see in large scale, but this is a 30% depreciation of Rhizoctonia and powdery scab in potatoes, and these are the ones that were treated by our product. This is a treatment in the soil before plantation of the tubulars. It's a once treatment in the life cycle of the potato, so it remains a couple of months active in the soil. It protects the potato either from fungi that are in the soil that attacks him as a crop, or in the post-harvest, meaning in the warehouse, like Rhizoctonia and the silver spots. We are also active in the vineyards, botrytis and powdery mildew in the grapes, and it seems that this product could be a very good alternative to the currently used fungicides. But later on, we had faced some problems that some farmers, some growers didn't want to use a direct exposure on the crop. Pepper bells, for example, they are very bright, so you cannot treat them directly. So we are encapsulating our product in a kind of, it's not a kind of, it's a granule, it's a solid formulation. It's packed in bags. This is a prototype. And those bags are being put in carton boxes. You can see the difference between peppers that were stored for 3 weeks and the one that were used with ours. The difference between sachet and non-sachet is the difference between shipping your product via airplane. For example, from Israel, they ship the peppers to Europe. They upload them in Slovenia, and then via trucks and the trains, they take them to elsewhere in Europe because they don't have time to allow the ship to arrive to northern ports. So this is a logistics solution for fresh crop. Europe, for example, now uses Africa as a greenyard for them, and the shipments, there are loss of 30% on the way because of the post-harvest problems. Well, you can see one of the most sensitive crops, the strawberries and the grapes. The technology is patented. We have 3 patents started from the liquid solution and finished with our solid formulation. Most of them are either for the delivery system itself and for the combination of the plant extract with our solution. The company was founded a couple of years ago. Major shareholders are a VC named Infinity. We have the university still holding a stake in the company, employees and private investors. This is a team. This is a very experienced team. Unlike the high tech, this is experience here. We have here Mr. Ziv Shomroni, our business development, here with me, and all of us are a couple of years in the business. So, thank you for your time.
And together with my colleague Yoav Tzur that is here, we founded Sensilize in the beginning of 2013. In Sensilize, we take our knowledge in smart image analysis, combine it into the world of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, to address needs within the agribusiness industry by providing important agronomic information to the farmer. I would like to share with you 2 examples that clarify the challenge that farmers face today. The first example is from Israel. This is Jezreel Valley, and I'm talking about a colleague of mine. He's an onion grower, and a few weeks before harvest, he noticed that unfortunately his crops were damaged by pests. However, it was too late, and he identified it only when it arrived to the edge of the field. He lost crop worth $200,000. Could he prevent it? Could he do something else before to avoid this catastrophe? The second example is from the US. A few weeks ago, I returned from Indiana, where I met agri-tailors, seed companies, consultants, and academics from Purdue University. What you can see here is a typical cornfield in the Midwest, stretching from here to the horizon. And the question that many growers, agronomists, and retailers ask themselves is actually, what is going on in my field? How do I know where to fertilize, more or less? In both cases, the lack of information may lead to misjudgment, to decrease in yield and loss of profit. And there is a real need, when you talk with farmers and growers, for another viewing point and viewing angle about the area that will provide them operational flexibility and availability. In Sensilize, we offer a user-friendly special decision support system that provides information to the farmers, to the grower, based on imagery. The system has a short turnaround time. It collects data over time to be stored to do analysis such as change detection. Using our system will enhance efficiency, lead to more yield and more profit. Where we can help. I put here a list of subjects that we believe our system can assist: identify soil variability, determination of crop emergence after planting, detection of crop condition stress, identification of irrigation problems, crop scouting, disease outbreaks, damage control for insurance purposes. This is a big issue in the US, crop insurance and farm maintenance. So how does it work? You see down below, the user, the farmer, the grower, the agronomist decide on the area he wishes to map for him. He draws a polygon, an area on a software such as Google Earth. Sensilize take this area, transfer it to a flight mission to the UAV. The UAV fly autonomously using the autopilot over the area, capturing imagery at a very high resolution, using the sophisticated sensor that Sensilize is developing. The sensor is a very sophisticated one. It weighs less than 200 grams. The resolution is 10 centimeters when we fly at 100 meters above the area. And it's what we call application-driven, means that it was designed and developed to collect data and information about vegetation specifically. This is actually the heart of the system. Following that, the data is being transferred to the cloud, where analysis, smart analysis is being done using our algorithms and software. And this is what we call the brain of the system. Within 12 to 18 hours from data acquisition, the user will receive the information that allow him to do the action that is required. We are going to offer it as a service to the ag industry, to users such as ag cooperatives, ag retailers, dealers, and agronomists and service providers. Where do we stand today? We successfully raised our first round, $450,000. It was last month. And we're going to use it to build our prototype that will be ready by June. And we already have several user and letter of intents from big prominent users within the ag industry in Israel that are interested that will fly for them. We're hopefully going to have our first sale by the end of 2014. And we're seeking for another $1 million to accomplish our business plan. To finalize, a few words about Yoav and myself. We both hold PhDs in remote sensing. We are collaborating all together for over 15 years. We have experience for over 30 years in the world of remote sensing, both in sensor development, application, and algorithm development, both on the civil and defense industry. Thank you.
Thank you for staying with us. I'm Idan Harpaz, Ecofer, and I'm here to present our venture. It's nice because I have a lot of time. Everybody was on time, so I'm left with like 20 minutes. Thank you. Okay, so I'll stick to this mic. You probably know, and I guess most of people here are from agriculture background, so they should know that fertigation is probably the most efficient way or method to fertilize crops today. Fertigation means, for those who don't remember, putting fertilizer within the irrigation water and send it to the plant. The best fertilizing practice accounts for doing the right formulation for the right crop, the right formulation for taking into account soil. I'm stuck with this. I'll move a little bit. With the right crop, the right soil, and time and place. So fertilizing formulation changes from through many factors. Now, in order to have fertigation and the right formulation, you need to have a liquid fertilizers formula. And this must be dissolved. Dissolving seems to be simple to most of us, but actually it's a huge bottleneck, a huge problem in this industry. In Israel, we have developed, up till now, a system which looks like this. This is probably the most user-friendly system that we know, that actually what it does, the farmer, as you may see here, the farmer is just making a call with the formulation that he got from agronomists. Excuse me for the Hebrew, but this is from a website of the best service in Israel today. And when he asks for the right formulation, he will get, a factory will start working. And what you see here is actually a huge factory that is actually using a lot of information, a lot of systems, a lot of tankers and equipment in order to have a formulation that will actually go to the field on a big tanker like this and fill the fertilizing tank. This is actually a huge industry which a lot of cost involved in. If you look at those tanks, they actually transport 20% of fertilizers and 80% of water. This is not a very efficient way to dissolve, and it calls for a solution. So we, after identifying this bottleneck, we developed a different story. We developed what we called a reverse dissolving system. In classic way to dissolve, as we know in kitchens or as we know all over chemical industry around the world, which I came from, you actually take the chemical, like in the example here, you take a sugar. If you want to have a sweetness of 1 teaspoon, you throw it into the glass and you stir. That's the way we know how to do it. That's the way people dissolving all over the world. We decided this is not efficient, and we wanted to reverse it. The way to reverse it is actually having the sugar all stacked in a container, spraying the tea or the water in our case into this tanker, and actually sip a sweet tea from below. The problem here that we don't know how sweet it will be. And that's where we come in. Our system looks like this. How do the movie doesn't work. No, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, so maybe it was. Okay. Okay. Now we know how to operate it. Sorry. We actually, what you see here is actually one of our 4 beta sites that operates in Israel. This is actually the tank in which. This is not working the way it should work. For a minute. Okay, so I'll show you the whole film and you'll just understand. I will not stop it. This is a tank where you have the fertilizers in them, to which we actually spray water. These are the dry fertilizers. The water goes into our system. we actually measure the concentration of each of the different type of fertilizers with a control unit that is software-based, that actually analyzes how much we actually have, how much fertilizer we have in every step, and the agronomist can put the actual concentration he expects from the formulation here, and doing that, we actually get the formulation that was expected. This can be changed at any minute, at any time. So the next generation system is much smaller, is not as big as this. It's a small unit, stands on the ground and gives a solution. So our team is a great team coming from multidisciplinary direct fields. I'm one of the founders. I have experience in biotechnology as well as chemical companies, and once managing an incubator. Yuval is a mechanical engineer, but business development in water and market and in irrigation companies. Ziv and my two co-founders, Ziv and Avi, came from textile industry. That's actually where the idea started. And the rest of people are agriculture people with a lot of experience in our field. So the market is huge, and the summary is it's a disruptive technology. We are changing the game. We have an experienced team. The market is huge. We already raised 1.2 million, and we look for $2 million A round. Thank you very much. And don't forget the 9.